Hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Pastor Dennis here with a word of encouragement for you on this day. I want to talk this afternoon about reasons and excuses. Reasons and excuses. Reason by definition, one definition is honest, valid, is honest and valid and explains the cause of a situation. One definition for excuse is often dishonest, seeks to avoid or shift responsibility, and is used to avoid blame or consequences. The thing about this life is we go through so much and we deal with a lot of things from our past that carry on to our future, things from our childhood carry on to our adulthood, and things that happen to us as individuals we carry into a marriage. And all of these things will develop either by reason or excuse. By reason or excuse. Either you're going to have an honest, valid explanation of the cause of a situation where you get to make a decision on how you respond to it, or you're going to make excuses for continuing to perpetuate the lie that the enemy tells you that this is all there is, this is the situation, and it's always going to be this way. Everybody's always that way. You can't trust anybody. All of these things, these negative actions and reactions. The truth is, we have a responsibility to be accountable. For everything that we do, we have a responsibility to be accountable. Even Romans 14:12 says this. So then each of us will give an account of himself to God. Every person will give an account for himself unto God. So that's the reason when we have a job, we do our work as unto God. This is the reason that we maintain accountability when there's situations that maybe go awry or crazy or whatever the case may be. You don't get to make excuses. You don't make excuses. You find out why something may have happened, and then you make a decision on how you're going to deal with it. You have to stop making excuses for failures. You have to stop making excuses for bad attitudes. You have to stop making excuses for poor work ethic or not taking care of the family or being responsible with your responsibility within a business or family or whatever the case may be. Stop making excuses, because excuses are typically dishonest and it seeks to avoid or shift responsibility, and it looks to avoid blame or consequences. And the truth is, none of us will escape. None of us will escape, because when you stand before God, you will not give him an excuse of why you did not follow him. You will not give him an excuse of why you did not accept his way or use his word to change your life. I gave God all the credit for changing me. Some of the things that I went through when I was younger, some of the things that I struggled with, I even carried into my adulthood. But once I became knowledgeable of what was going on, I began to seek God for answers. And when I did, everything kind of just unraveled. I was no longer bound. I was no longer in bondage by my past. I was no longer in bondage by what may have happened to me. I was no longer in bondage by the things that I remembered, because I looked at them from a different light. God began to teach me some things in and through his word, because you and I will not escape being accountable for our actions. When I was teaching a marriage class, I asked the class this: who was responsible? Who was held accountable for what happened in the garden? And you get Adam, Eve, you get the serpent. Who was held accountable? Most people will say Adam. The truth is, everybody was accountable for their actions. Adam was accountable for his actions, so he was rewarded by the sweat of his brow. Eve was accountable for her actions, and she was a pain in childbearing, and she was going to be subject to a husband. The serpent was held accountable for his actions, crawl upon his belly and eat the dust of the earth. See, the truth is, no matter what happens to us in life, good, bad, or indifferent, we are going to be held accountable for how we respond to this life. The minute you decide that you're going to use God's word to help you through every situation, or whether it's your past or your current situation, then that's when you realize that you can make a difference, and you will stop making excuses. If you have been in a family that has not been responsible and it made you irresponsible with money or relationship, then make a decision. You're going to make a difference. Don't perpetuate that lie into your family. If your family, somebody wasn't there for you and your family, then you be there for yours. Somebody was irresponsible with money, learn how to be responsible with money. Stop allowing the lie to be perpetuated in your life today. Don't make excuses. make a difference. And when you in order for you to make a difference, then you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to use reasons to deal with life as opposed to excuses. The minute you do that, you will be unbound. The minute you do that, you will not be controlled by a memory. God helped me with my migraines. I used to suffer from migraines. It was debilitating. I pulled the shades down, put a towel up under the door. I didn't want to see any light. It was so piercing. When I was 40 years old, God told me as a child why I struggled with migraines. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is how much he loves us. He will teach us along the way. And he told me the day that they stopped and why they stopped. Amazing. That's how much he loves you. So if you have something that's been haunting you from the past, no matter what it is, God has the answers. And in time, he will reveal it to you. But in the process, you have to make decisions. So no more excuses. No excuse for you to fail. No excuse for you to remain in your situation. No excuse for you to do a poor job or not to be successful. No more excuses. Find a reason to do well. Find a reason to continue in his word. Find a reason to enjoy this life. No more excuses. You guys have a great week.